The woman who was once arrested for silently praying in the same area as an abortion clinic, which resulted in a humiliation for the police, has once again been arrested. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys remember Isabel? Isabel was this lady who was once, quite recently, a couple of months ago, I believe, which we reported on the channel, was arrested for standing on the pavement, on the streets, and silently praying in her head. She wasn't really intimidating anybody, and it was near an abortion clinic. And it's happened again, despite the backlash at the time. Now, common sense and objectivity matters. So we know that exclusion zones are important. Intimidation shouldn't happen, especially physical violence, anything not that sort of nonsense that has happened sometimes, especially in America, from both sides. But there is a line when it comes to policing in this country. You cannot arrest someone for praying in their head. If they're not approaching anybody, if they're not intimidating anybody, if they're not being aggressive against anybody, there's no harm being done. So this is, again, it's been a grey area for a while. But let's go to this video of Isabel being approached by the police once again. Of course, let's be objective. She was poking the bear as well.
Yeah. Can I please ask you to step away from here and step outside the exclusion zone?
I'm not protesting, I'm not engaging in any of the activity.
But you've said you're engaging in prayer, which is the offence.
It's silent.
No, but you are still engaging in prayer. It is an offence.
I disagree.
Okay then. So you would rather that you be arrested and taken away than stand outside the exclusion zone? Is that what you're saying?
Are those the only two alternatives?
Yes.
I don't think I'm being intimidating.
Yep.
I'm not protesting.
There we go. Now, as we said, exclusion zones are important, especially to protect anybody from any side, really, when it comes to aggression or intimidation. That has to be there. We know that. We have to be a civilized society. But and we know that, of course, Isabel is there on purpose, but she's not protesting vocally. She's not approaching anybody. And that's why these laws and regulations, they must be updated, because they seem to be quite out of date, the way the police are being told to enforce it, considering they've done it once and it didn't really get anywhere. So she's back on the streets. So what are you thinking when it comes to these sort of things? Why would you even bother? Again, we know she's there. She's poking the bear when it comes to the police, but they're doing the same thing to her. So even establishment politicians like Neil O'Brien, even he's got common sense on this issue. He's responded to this video saying, well, this is appalling. I will be voting against in the free vote. So this happened obviously a couple of days ago, and then you had the MPs voting on banning silent prayer near all abortion clinics, which, by the way, resulted in the Parliament actually banning silent prayer. So going forward, Isabel will be arrested even more than before. So before this situation, there was at least a bit of a grey area, but now it's going to be quite interesting to see how the state is going to be using the police powers to be enforced when it comes to people standing on the street and just not really approaching anybody, not really intimidating anybody. Let me know what you think on this whole issue, because it becomes quite controversial and it becomes a bit about a wider topic on a societal level. We're going to take a break for half an hour. We're going to come back and talk to you guys about how British young liberals are ashamed of this country being white. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.